Good early evening on the East Coast. Good afternoon on the West Coast. My name's Echo, and this is AR, and we're bringing it to you live across the U.S. to your home, real cuddly like. Now, what I'm getting down today with is some reloading stuff, and I'm bringing you some events happening from the Deltona to the DMZ. What's going on in Georgia, AR?
Nothing much. Just sitting here watching the news all day from time to time.
So,
Infuriated over the ATF.
yeah, we're all kind of
Yeah.
freaking out about what's going on with what Biden proposes. I just keep on pushing people to do their best to contact that ATF forum and put your opinion on why you do not want the definition of a frame or a receiver changed so that we can eliminate this problem going any further. This is absolutely ridiculous. Law enforcement agencies should not be writing law.
Yeah, I agree. It's a mess. Uh, I was watching the news today, or actually watching a video from GOA and Military Arms Channel. And
Oh, yeah.
remember I was telling you about it, and they said that what happened is that Congress writes the laws vague, the bones of a law, to allow latitude for their government agencies to interpret it, whoever they put in charge, is kind of what they meant.
Yeah, that's too
Uh,
gray for me.
yeah,
That's not how that was supposed to be done. That's bullshit is what that is. That's a big bullshit sandwich.
yeah, it leads to
Muscovina Dodge, what is going on there, brother?
our leaders and agencies abusing the law and overstepping
Yeah.
the law. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Because basically you get someone in there that is pro gun. He could basically be more understanding to gun culture. Whereas if you get someone that's anti gun, you're going to have people that are trying to use their power to get rid of something they don't like. A lot of ATF agents actually are gun loving people. They appreciate the Constitution. But just like there are gun loving ATF agents, there are ATF agents that do not love the fact that citizens in the US have the ability to arm themselves. And those people are not always the most level headed and blinded, like the Lady of Justice with her scales, and she's wearing a blindfold. There's a reason for it. And politics has no place in law enforcement, period, or in judiciary type accords. It should be based on the Constitution and the laws that we have now. If you would like to try and to change the Constitution, good luck, but more power to you. And then we also have state constitutions like we have in Florida, which basically Biden's law will infringe upon our state constitution. And we've already had an outpour of sheriffs saying that they will not enforce unconstitutional laws because it is illegal for them to do so.
I'm anxious to see how this unfolds in Florida the next 6 months or within the next year. How your state handles this. So
I really doubt very seriously that that we're going to take it with any stride whatsoever. I think it's just not going to be enforced. I think they could pass a billion gun control laws, there's over 30,000 on the books right now. Why don't we try enforcing some of them instead of writing new ones that infringe on constitutional amendments? And any law that's written that violates a constitutional amendment is null and void. It's an illegal law, so it cannot be passed. It cannot be voted on if it is an infringement, which I see this going to the Supreme Court. I just hope that they are got their balls together enough to take this one on and end this stupidity once and for all. All we need is the Supreme Court to take on one of these big Second Amendment cases and rule in favor of the Constitution and basically end this crap that states like California, Washington State, Washington D.C., these New York City, New Jersey, all Chicago, all these draconian laws that basically are restricting freedoms from American citizens.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be turned over in probably a district court or a federal court before it gets to the Supreme. If it gets turned over like the bump stock, it won't go to the Supreme. But I'm not going to talk heavy in here right now at this moment because there's not many in here. How many do you see in here? Because I'd rather, if I got something to say, I want to make sure there's at least.
There's 3 people in here.
Okay, I only see 1. Okay.
But what I'm doing, let's talk reloading. I've been waiting on a RCBS Summit press to come into stock, and I finally got it last night. They gave me a shipping notification today.
Cool.
So I should have it Monday. So if everything goes right, I should have it Monday. I have a from Wayne over there at Inline Fabrications, or is that Dan? Is that Dan over that?
Wayne, Dan. Yeah.
Dan. Wayne's at Mighty Armory. I get, yeah. Dan over at Inline Fabrications, he basically sent me out a plate, a quick change plate, because I have 2 of his quick change flush mount plates on my reloading bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love his stuff. I wish I would have put 4 of his plates on my reloading bench instead of 2 Lee's and 2 of his.
Yeah, I like his stuff too.
Yeah, he built some really high quality stuff. And basically I have my Forester mounted on one. I've got my Lee 4-hole classic turret on one, and then I'll have my Summit on one, so that I can. What I need now is a docking bay so that I can bolt it to my wall and put my presses that I'm not using on that bay.
I need that too.
Yeah.
On the wall.
So I got a question for you. Are you gonna change one of your bedrooms into a reloading room?
I've thought about it for quite a while. I don't know. I may turn it into a ham radio. I was going to do ham radio, half the room ham radio, and half of it reloading, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and maybe I got to knock out a window and make it larger. I don't like the way the window's small in there. But yeah, thinking about it. I got Dan's stuff too. I got 1 flush mount plate, 1 7.5 or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the elevated one on like the little the little it's wider. It's like almost like a pyramid design with either a direct plate mount on the top or a quick change plate on the top.
Yes, I wish now I hadn't bought it. It's okay, but I'm going to take both of these off. Well, I'm going to take 1 flush mount and I'm going to move it over to where my other is. I'm taking that off and I'm buying the elevated thing plate that attaches to the main flush mount plate. That way I can have it both
Ah,
ways. And I'm doing away with the 7 and something inch for a while because I'm kind of limited with it. He has. Have you seen the new things he's got where it goes right down in the flush mount and it raises it up like I think 7 5/8 inches or something?
yes, I have. Yes,
Yeah,
I have.
that's what I want. And, that way I have more bench space too.
Yeah, just
So that,
makes sense.
mhm. So just one flush mount on this bench, and then over there it don't matter on that other one. That's actually an island bar on the other side of my room.
Good afternoon, G Webs. I hope everything's going good with you. I was catching your show right before this on going over more of the ATF's crap.
Yeah, I caught
Thank,
some of it too.
yeah,
Done with
thanks for stopping by, brother. But yeah, hopefully what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that Summit press and I'm going to give it a workout. I'm going to start jamming out some 223
hmm
and probably do, I guess, a couple thousand rounds of that, get it all ready and trim it all and chamfer, deburr, and decrimp the primer pockets and, then uniform them and get all that stuff tumbled up again and go ahead and start jamming them out and start pulling some measurements off of them and seeing what that Summit press is going to give me as far as run out compared to what my coax will do.
Right. But you know what? My dog out there barking. He hardly ever barks.
Well, have you gone out there to look to make sure someone's not in
Nah,
your backyard?
he's barking at a cat or a dog somewhere or something. It's just the way they do back there. Paulo used to do the same thing. He's over at the shrubs now, checking something out. I can tell by his bark where he's at. I just went out and petted him a little while ago. I hadn't totally decided I'm gonna keep him yet. I got to fence my backyard in. I want to either half English or English chocolate lab. I still may keep.
Hey, Andre, what's going on? So
Yeah.
basically, the ATF just keeps on wanting to infringe upon our rights. I really find it kind of disgusting how the federal government law enforcement agency, has the ability to more or less interpret and write law, basically. If they're able to interpret it however they like, they might as well be writing it. And for a law enforcement agency to be able to write law, that is highly
Mm-hmm.
not appropriate. That would be like, oh, I know what it's like when Obama made it okay for insurance companies to charge whatever they wanted as long as they didn't keep you from being insured if you had a pre-existing condition. Like I had diabetes. No one would insure me
Mm-hmm.
unless I was working, and at the time of my disability I couldn't work, so then I fell in between the cracks. Now, yeah, they cannot say they won't insure me. What they can tell me is because of your diabetes we can charge you $800 a month.
Ooh,
Yeah.
a lot of money.
So yeah, that's a lot of money, dude, and that's more money than anybody has got to pay for insurance unless I was a multimillionaire or making 200,000 bucks a year, and then it wouldn't matter anyways because I would just pay for my own drugs. And the other thing was when we got Obama as president, my my bottle of regular insulin, Humulin R insulin, that was $33.72 at Walgreens or CVS or Eckerd Drugs, went to $322 for the same exact bottle overnight
So
because
much,
of big pharma.
so much for his lies about everything going
Oh
down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Keep your doctor say
Free
$1,000,
shipping at
$2,000.
Midway again? That's awesome, West Covina. Thanks for dropping that in. Hey, Vanessa, what's going on, girl?
Hi, Vanessa.
Yeah, so basically we're just covering it all. You guys want to ask questions? You want to come on here? I can post a link in the chat. Um, let me see if I can do it. If I do it over here, should let me see. Bum, bum, bum.
I think you hit share, right?
There we go. Well, first I gotta paste it, chat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I gotta go in here and click on it. And, well, that'll do that. But I thought I know what I can do. I can go in on the the one side of it. Um, Let me think for just a second here. Use my little tiny gray matter.
I haven't been on the side of that software since last week. So, well, I went on a couple of times, but only for a few minutes. So I don't remember what you clicked. Now, right now, I can share a video, a file, or a screen, but that's it. You have more privilege.
All right, pin message. All right, so I pinned it in the comments. So if anybody wants to jump on here, I pinned the link to this live stream in the YouTube side comments. If you want to come on and talk about Second Amendment, reloading.
Warsaw Patriots here.
Oh, hey, Warsaw, what's going on, brother?
Hey,
I'm getting a little bit of a loop through your side again. Is your volume up or you got YouTube playing?
no, nope, nothing
Hmm.
playing. Uh, let me turn my sound down a little and see if that stops it.
Hello. Yeah, that stopped it.
Okay, my speakers was kind of loud. So.
Yeah. So Warsaw's here, Vanessa's here. My meds are astronomically high. Yes,
They are.
any higher and they would be a country level. Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely ridiculous what pharma has done. What they did was, Vanessa, you're probably well aware of this. They've gone in and they've said, okay, we have to, okay, diabetics, they have to have insulin, can't live without it, they'll die without it. So we take a $30 bottle of insulin that costs us what, $4 probably to make, and basically instead of charging $33, we're going to charge $330. That way we have no development costs going into it because the product's already been out for the last 25 years. The only cost we have in it is just producing the product. So if we just raise the prices, it makes us look on our stock and on people, because they're a publicly traded pharmaceutical company, it makes it look like there are basically making millions when really they're just ripping off the customers that depend on them for life-saving drugs. And basically but it makes their stock look like it's worth a hell of a lot more than it really is. They just raise the prices. I mean, that would be like a car dealership, going, God, you guys are making a lot of money. Your records are showing all kinds of profit. Well, yeah, you're, instead of buying a Corvette for $80,000, you're paying $280,000. Of course, they're going to show profit. I mean, they could literally give one away a month and still make unbelievable profit gains.
You know what's ironic about the medical prescription prices? few years ago, most of it was still in America. It was cheap. Once we complete most of the stuff going over to China, all of a sudden the prices started going up under Obama.
Oh yeah.
Higher and
Oh
higher and
yeah.
higher. But
Yeah,
when it's
in
made
the
here,
product, yeah, but when the product was made in China, it was cheaper, cheaper, and cheaper, and
it made it first.
basically,
Yeah.
well, yeah, well, it has been the whole time. The U.S. government gets a slice of that. That's
Yeah.
their kickback clause. If you know the reason why pharmaceutical costs more money in America is we pay our people a living wage, and we have checks and balances that Chinese companies do not have. So that's why when I get a recall on one of my generic drugs, that it's causing cancer in certain patients. Certain lot numbers were causing cancer. These are quality control issues. On this is on blood pressure medication, and these are quality control issues that yes, they do sometimes happen in the U.S., but it's much more announced. It's much more, okay, we got a problem. We don't want a lawsuit. So, hey, let's get in front of this thing right now. And they run tighter tolerances on
Insurance
their
companies
pharmaceutical.
also,
And
echo
not,
insurance companies have more
yes,
control now over not only medicine, but even healthcare than they did back in the 70s and 80s,
yeah.
60s, 70s, and 80s. That's a lot to do with it right there.
Yeah, basically, and here's what's going on. This is what an insurance agency has. Okay, they don't have a group of doctors ruling on whether you get this prescription or this insulin pump or this chemotherapy pump. No, it's a group of pharmacists. They don't pay doctors. They have pharmacists that make these decisions for them. My mother worked in the insurance industry up until the time of her death. I've dealt with insurance companies and doctors and medicine companies since 1979. So yeah, we've got a real issue with pharmaceutical in the way it's priced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these companies should not be able to ransom people's lives
Yeah.
for a dollar.
1980s, when the insurance companies, if you went to work, you typically we had our own insurance company at SEBA Vision I worked for. So we basically started our own insurance.
Yeah, it was self-insured.
Yeah, and they paid 80% after you reached 500. But
Right.
back in the 80s, you know what we get? We would get medicine even before it totally got like my company took over. We could go to the drugstore and get 200 or 300 pills for $8, $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, fast forward, as soon as it started becoming managed healthcare more and more, PPOs, HMOs, boom, I started seeing everything climb as the years went by.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke, really it is.
Mhm.
But back to reloading, what I'm doing is I ordered a Summit press, and it was months ago, and I just got a shipping notification. It's coming in, so I'm getting an RCBS Summit press, and I have one of uh, Dan's inline fabrications quick change plate for my flush mount setup behind me over here. So I'm going to be giving that press a real good working out, doing some 223 and some 308 Winchester. I'm also getting an
Oh, I
annealer,
want one of them. I want
and
one.
I'm going to anneal me a bunch of 308 and
Mm-hmm.
probably a bunch of 556 brass that's once fired range pickup. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing a lot of showing people how I'm getting less than a thousandth of an inch run out of um, in my necks. I'm
Right.
getting less than a thousandth of an inch run out. Sometimes the gauge just bumps a little bit. It'll just go boom, just a little bump, and then it goes right back to zero. And that's on basic run out in the neck. So if you're getting neck run out less than a thousand, well, less than 2 thousandths is what they say for high quality ammo. But if you're getting less than a half a thousandth out of range pickup, and you're dropping a 55 grain full metal jacket boat tail with a canalure bullet in there from Hornady, and throwing a little bit of Varget 25.2 grains behind it with a
Mhm.
CCI 41 primer. And I use nail polish. I'll show you guys. I'll grab it out right here.
Hey, what's up, JH? Good to see you.
Is that Jamie?
Yeah,
What did I do with that stuff?
and I was reading what you said, Vanessa, on the cost earlier. I'm constantly reading what you all write or
Isn't that
tell me.
ridiculous what they charge people for that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
How absolutely it should be against the freaking law. I mean, people that medicine that is needed for life. I'm not talking about for like cosmetic surgery to your face if you want to
Mhm.
have a facelift when you're 50. I'm talking about stuff that if you don't have it, you can't breathe air anymore. I
Vanessa was.
think
Go ahead.
I think those medications should be,
Hmm.
at a very minimum profit, just mandatory, because they are life dependent medications. And if anybody wants to ask why I think that, it's just because I know what it's like to be dependent upon medication to stay alive. And if and some of the stuff is so expensive that unless you're a little millionaire, here, this right here,
Hmm.
clear nail polish,
Okay, that's what
and
you.
that's what I seal primers and seal around bullets.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was something cheap.
Yeah, something real cheap there. You get it for like $2 off of, or you get it at the dollar store. You bet the $2 off of like Amazon.
Hmm. Vanessa was also talking earlier about how the medicine was available years ago, decades ago. That's called off-label. When they figure out years later they can do it for another drug or another illness, it's called off-label prescribing when it was not intended for the original thing.
Oh yeah, kind of like the when they cured hepatitis C, they were looking for a drug that to treat HIV, to make it so you could live with the disease and not actually die from it. And during developing of that drug, they found out that it cured hepatitis C, and that's what that cure came from. And they were trying to keep it under wraps at first because the medicine that they treat hepatitis C with up until the cure came out was so expensive that a lifetime of treating a person infected with hepatitis C is millions of dollars, where a cure is only a one time $18,000 deal.
Hmm. Yeah, I was noticing when you were talking that my avatar was picking up audio, so I turned the volume down a little more.
Okay. So what do we see here? Oh, did I
I wish I
click
had
on
those
that?
headphones.
Well, you're going to have them soon.
Yeah, either that or get me a boom set up with a big mic. I hadn't totally decided yet. All right. I'll get me some of that. It was extreme clear, extreme nail polish. Where did you get it at, Echo?
It's clear. Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Gee webs, because I only have black nail polish for going to clubs. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I know what clubs you're going to. He's going to alternative clubs.
As long as we have no one in here talking about go-go boots.
Oh yeah, Uncle Jim. I was supposed to send him a link. He's said he's out doing yard work, but he gave me his email. I got to send him a link here in just a minute.
Jamie's going to eat supper. He'll be back.
Yeah. So reloading. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a bunch of 5.56, and I'll probably do a bunch of videos on it. Going through. I've got a barrel of 5.56 somewhere. Is it in here anymore? It may be. I may have moved it, but I didn't think I did. Let me see.
I
It's a
got
big.
brass from Jamie a while back, and I got some in today from Willie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
What's that brass look like that Willie sent you?
I was going to do an unboxing on a video about it. I haven't did it yet. It's here on the floor. It's heavy.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what kind of brass he's getting there out of California.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I say this without a sidekick, it's hard to talk about things. So I'll just kind of wait till Echo gets back.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, that's right. You got that wire. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just going to grab some num nums out of the kitchen.
I'm still furious at what I discovered yesterday, but everybody is, I think.
Yeah, that's just going to be a real pain in the butt because I don't want to have to have all of my upper receivers serialized. That's just retarded. And then
I
pay
don't.
background checks.
I don't believe a lot of Americans are going to do it. I think they're
I
going
don't
to
think I don't
do it.
think 95%. Listen to this. When they had to have that registration in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
where they told people that they had to register their AR-15s and AKs and AKMs, it
Mm-hmm.
was less than 5% of people actually did it because it was
Mm-hmm.
basically unconstitutional. You can't have a registry. Supreme Court ruled on that a while ago.
Hmm. I think that happened in Baltimore or some of those other northern states a few years ago too.
Yeah, they do this. They do these crazy things, and I don't understand how they think it's going to go through, and it takes a while, but then it goes through the court systems, and they're like, no, this isn't constitutionally valid, but for that year or so or 2 years, it is valid.
What part of the country is the dog in? Talking about the dog barking, or oh, my dog. That dog's passed away, unfortunately. The brown one there. I'm on the East Coast. GA here.
He's in Georgia. I'm in Florida. We're just neighbors. He's just a little north of me, but we're still south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah,
And
I had
if
that
you,
dog
I
for
don't
12 years.
care if you're in southern Utah, you're still a southerner. To us southern boys down here, anybody in the southern part of their state, they're still southerners.
Somebody said,
So
Gun will
I'm
tell
gonna
the
I'm
story.
gonna
I don't
get
know
that
the name.
I want to get that summit press going and basically um, get that summit press going and pop that its cherry on some 5.56 and go through that. And I'm also going to go through how I tumble all the way through to the very end of actually taking it to the range and shooting it.
Read what Wes Covina said. Spot peen printer.
This one,
Apparently in California, he's in, right?
I had to buy a dot
Mm-hmm.
peen printer to serialize all my 80 lowers 2 years ago.
They're trying
Still
to turn the whole
going
country into
to
California is what the federal
still
government's trying to do.
wait. Still going to suck to put a number on all my uppers. Yeah, agreed, brother. And I've got stuff that is custom Cerakoted, so there's no. Basically, I think what I'm gonna do is what they call a peaceful. Um, what do they call that? A peaceful deny. I just don't do it, but I don't make a big like. It's not like it's like a peaceful. I know G Webs knows what I'm talking about.
West Covina, did you have to register it through the FFL when you serialized those uppers? And Vanessa's got a question.
What,
I use Frankfurt Arsenal water, Dawn, excuse me, and no pins,
yeah, I use a wet tumbler.
wet tumbling, and I do dry too. I got both.
Frankfurt Arsenal. I decap my brass before I put it in to a universal decapping die.
I have Tumbler's tumbler, but I may sell it. I tried to sell it a while back, and then something went wrong, and I couldn't. So.
And I wet tumble with pins, a little Lemmy Shine, and a little bit of that Ultra Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I use
then
Lemon Shine.
yeah, and then when I get it all done and I get all the nasty water out and I fill it up with cold water a few times and
West
run it.
Covina, no registration, Echo, because he did it before the deadline. That's good.
He did what?
No registration on his uppers when it was serialized in California.
So now they're creating a registration is what they're doing.
He didn't have to go to a FFL apparently.
Oh yeah, that's a much better.
Mm-hmm. Which that's good. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I wet tumble with pins and I got special pins off of Amazon.
mm-hmm.
And basically they are big enough so that two of them won't fit in a flash hole.
I've
So
heard that.
only so they don't jam. And basically I got 10, 15 pounds of those, and I use 5 pounds per Frankfurt Arsenal, the large Frankfurt Arsenal wet tumbler. Five, maybe a little bit more, maybe 5.5 pounds, and then fill it up with 556. And I use the Lemmy Shine and hot water, and then rinse with Dawn and Dawn Ultra, and then I rinse with cold water so that I don't get any of the deposits out of my hot water heater that calcify from hot water building up in the hot water heater. It'll leave
Yeah.
streaks on your brass. So I use cold water and I rinse it with the pins. I do that a few times, and I use a Dillon media separator and tumble my brass and knock all the pins out of it. And I can fill that with a little bit of water so that it just like comes out real easily.
I want one of those.
And then after, they're only like $60 for the small one. And basically then I separate the water and from the pins by pouring it through a strainer, like a big strainer, and catching all my pins.
Mm-hmm.
And basically take my brass, and then I put that in my Lyman little food dehydrator made by Lyman, specially designed for brass,
Mm-hmm.
so that no brass will fall through it.
Mm-hmm.
and you can fill it up, and it runs at 140 degrees. Excuse me, on and off in cycles. And you got a timer on it, so you can put it in there and see what how long you're cooking it for. And then within about 2 hours, that stuff is dry, is nice and warm to let you know that it's dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go ahead from there and start my going through my brass and inspecting it, and then start putting cutting primers. If I have military brass, cutting primer pockets out and uniforming. I uniform every primer pocket that I load a new primer into. It just makes the primer, cuts down all those high spots, and makes it so when you seat the primer into the primer pocket, that the anvil, that those legs that stick out from underneath
Right.
the shell of the primer, it makes those compress into the bottom of the pocket evenly, so that you get an even compression. And it's almost like you're spring loading that primer by
Mm-hmm.
bottoming it out, not forcing it in there, but just enough to where it bottoms out and those legs evenly disperse the same amount of force under all three legs or four legs. And
Right.
it basically makes it so that when that firing pin hits it, that primer has nowhere to go but to go off.
Sounds good. Vanessa's got a question. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to answer that. You can serialize anything you want, Vanessa. I think you can create your own serial number. But according to what I'm seeing, you would still have to take it to a FFL when the ATF gets through with us and run it through the background check, which is basically sounds like it's going to become a database. And I emailed, I called Mitch McConnell. His answering service was full today. I called him a week or so ago too and talked. I actually left a message, and I got on his website and told him if he did anything gun control, I would not support him financially. I said the GOP does not need to cave to this crap. And,
Yeah,
I
I
told
don't
him I can vote.
understand.
Yeah,
This is what I don't understand about the Republicans is we're supposed to be this conservative party, but yet every single freaking time these left wing nut jobs start demanding all this stuff, and it's always on stuff like they want to ban the fact that AR-15s are two pieces. They want to rewrite the definition of a frame and receiver. All of this for a weapon that is used in less than 1% of all crime.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, handguns are used in most crime involving a firearm. Handguns are the choice because they're easier to conceal, and they're easier to get their hands on, and they're easier to learn how to use
The
without
last shooter,
proper instruction.
the last mass shooting, what was it here the other day? I think it was handgun and a bunch of magazines. I think they said. I don't know the whole story. I just know what I heard on the news through YouTube. She
Uh,
wants to know, Echo, why they call that part inside a primer an anvil. I'll let you explain that.
um, the anvil. Hold on, mouthful of food. The anvil is just like you would think an anvil that you have on a press, like an anvil that you would pound metal on when you're blacksmithing. The anvil is the hard part. The primer, okay, you've got the cup, which is the part on the outside, which you see when you look at the back, the head of the case. That's the cup. Underneath the cup is the primer ignition compound, which is a Class C pyrotechnic. And then underneath that is the anvil, and it has legs that go down the inside of the cup, and they protrude out the bottom just a thousandths of an inch or two. And what that does is when you seat that primer all the way down in that pocket, you want all of those little legs of that anvil to make firm contact with the bottom of that primer pocket and uniform. So you want that bottom of that primer pocket to be flat so that
Mhm.
when that primer goes down in there, it seats those anvils legs firmly against there, which gives it a very stable and supportive anvil to crush that compound against when the firing pin hits the primer cup in the back, and it forces that cup to collapse onto that compound, forcing it in between the anvil. And you'll notice the anvil has a hole in it, allowing that spark to spit forward through the flash hole in the primer pocket onto the powder inside the cartridge case. And that's how it ignites.
Gun websites. You're right about that. None of this is enforceable. The ATF redefinition. Neither is the universal background check. Neither is national registration. None of it's enforceable. We have to volunteer to go if we sell to individuals. The government's passing a bunch of stuff that they can't even enforce, only maybe a little here and there as the time goes by. But basically, let's just neuter them. Don't even deal with them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything personally, but
G webs. What is it? What is the term used when you passively resist government tyranny, when they try to force unconstitutional laws on you and you just don't enforce them, you don't abide by them? Our sheriff said that here in Florida that we are not going to enforce unconstitutional laws because it would be illegal according to the oath we took to defend the Constitution against any threat, foreign or domestic.
mhm. I think it'll make
DJ
the
Play
president.
Nice.
I
DJ
think it'll
Play
make the
Nice,
president.
welcome.
Yes, well, I think it'll make the president and the ATF and all the government agencies look weak if we don't participate. What are they going to say and do? Now, granted, they could wait till you shoot somebody in your house, and at that point, they could enforce it. Just,
Well, yeah, there's
yeah,
always it catching you on the reach around. That's
yeah,
what I call that, because that's exactly what they're doing when they do that. But the
right.
bottom line is what that you cross that bridge when you come to it. That's why I have a gun insurance policy. So if I have to use my firearms to defend myself, I'm covered, and I have professional witnesses. I just cover my rear end so that I don't have. It's just not out there hanging in the wind. And I recommend that everybody do that.
I hope personally that most of America, almost at least 99%, totally ignores Biden, the Democrats, ATF, whatever. But that's just me. And civil disobedience and noncompliance is right. Because they will get very frustrated if they find out that nobody's complying. And let them have their left tard breakdown. Libtard, I should have said left tard, same thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, basically the Democratic Party has been actually losing steam since the 1950s, and they've been influxing new voters through illegal immigration. That's why it's so important to them for open borders. Without it, their party would lose wind within about 5 to 8 years, and they would just be nothing. And that's part of their problem is they got to depend on people that are entering our country illegally to support their ideas. That's why they want to give free rides for everybody and turn their back on the people that actually live here and have problems in high crime areas like Chicago. They want to blame anyone, and they want to blame guns and inanimate objects when they've got a catch and release program where if you get caught doing a felony, you can just be you bring you downtown and they hold you for about 30 minutes and they let you go.
What's up, Lakeview? How you doing? Hi, boy. Hey. How you doing, bud?
Hey, hi boy reloading. What's going on, brother? Yeah, so that it's a big problem we're having, and basically there's a post here by DJ Play Nice. He's put up a couple of things. That is the ATF link for the government website that you can state your opinion on why you do not want the definition of a frame or a receiver changed. Just please be polite and leave your information and tell them why you don't think that this is constitutional. And if you don't have any good things to say, you can go to the GOA, Gun Owners of America, and they have a form letter that's typed out, that's written out by one of their attorneys, and you can sign your name to it, copy it, and just paste it and send it in, and that's better than nothing. And there's also phone numbers you can call, and I recommend you do this, and you just blow up the phone lines, keep them ringing all the time, because you know the anti-gunners are. So we need to do the same thing. And this is why I was wanting to do my channel and redirect what I'm focusing on start doing a lot of Second Amendment, is because I want to bring together all facets of the gun channels on YouTube. A lot of us don't intercommunicate. There's a few of us like Vanessa Kitty that go to everyone's channels, but a lot of us don't talk. A lot of us don't, hang out and know what each other's doing. But if all of us can join together and we start posting our comments, we start calling our representatives, we start letting the ATF know that this is not their job to write law, it's their job to enforce it, and they should not be interpreting what is unconstitutional law to begin with and illegal by all other means, and stop this thing before it even gets a chance to get a hold. And once we do that, it's going to show Biden just how much we are not going to stand for any more infringements on our constitutional God-given rights. He didn't give us these rights. Either did the United States government. God himself did. And if God wants to end the constitutional rights that we abide by, let God come down and take them back, not some crony in an office that doesn't like firearms because he's worried about his tyrannical rule.
The Constitution only reaffirms our natural God-given rights.
Yes, sir.
One thing that GunWeb cites, what is the one thing all these shootings have in common for the past few years? Not guns and not people, but mentally disturbed people. Well, so that would be people. But they all have mental issues. Rage, who knows their intentions? But they all seem to be mental whack jobs. And they're not addressing that.
And here's the thing. 95% of these people passed background checks. And that's why I'm telling you, when me and gun websites were kids, you could order a gun to your house through the Sears Roebuck catalog. We didn't have mass shootings. What has changed? Well, I'll tell you what's changed. We no longer have nuclear families where kids are taught by their father how to be a man, how and how to care for a lady by their mother, and how to care for people by their mother. Yes, you can raise a child being a man or a woman, but it is a hell of a lot easier if you have two parents. Kids are very expensive. They require a lot of attention, and that's one without special needs. A lot of children today have some special needs that need to be addressed with learning disabilities, medical problems. A lot more things affect children today than they did back in the 50s because we're more aware of things today. But the bottom line is, I think that the Constitution is very clear, and anything that they try to shove forward down our throats, I think if we passively resist and just say, no, we're not going to do that, I think that if enough of us do it, they're just going to be like, well, our sheriffs aren't enforcing it because the sheriffs in Florida and a lot of other states have said we're not enforcing unconstitutional and they said frankly unenforceable laws. What are we
That's a
supposed to
good one.
go do?
Put that in.
He goes, I'll be damned if I'm sending my deputies to go door to door to make sure somebody's got a serial number on their damn upper receiver of their AR-15. He
I
goes
was,
because he said because most time in Florida, if I send officers to do that, they're going to get shown the barrel end of the AR-15.
yeah. I never was for the original NIC system. I thought it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
My brother, unfortunately, was an NRA member at the time. Come to me and says, "Oh, this is what we're doing." And I says, "What? What do you mean what you're doing?" "Oh, I endorse it, and the NRA does." And I said, "Really?" I said, "It'll be a future database." And I said, "I don't care. I don't want no part of it. We didn't have shootings back years ago.
Yeah, if you
We used to
look
walk in there,
behind
show our ID, fill out a
Yep.
paper, and walk out."
Yeah, if you look behind every huge anti-gun gun control act that's ever been formed, the NRA was right there on every one of them. The
That's what
one in
disturbed me.
1986 for fully automatic guns were banned from being owned from that time on. So you couldn't own an 87 or an 86 that was past the enactment date of the 86 Firearms Act,
Right.
and basically that's why we cannot own a new machine gun. Like if I wanted a 240 Bravo, the only way for me to own that would be to have a manufacturing FFL and have one as a display model to show customers, like if I'm selling to paramilitary contractors, that I can build these type of weapons if that's what is needed. That's the
Un-
only way I can have it. Other than that, if you're a private citizen, you can own up to a 1986 any
mhm.
type of fully automatic that was made up until 1986. After that, you're out of luck.
Unfortunately, that was done by Reagan and the Republicans, and I agree with Reagan on most everything, but I still question that. And early '90s, he was also for the Clinton assault weapons ban, and I think Reagan, if at the time when he said he was against that or for the assault weapons ban, I believe, knowing him and the way I've researched him, if it had been a common gun, I don't think he would have been against it. But in 1990, the AR-15 was not a common gun. It was not
Yeah.
at shooting ranges. I heard of it, I think, a little bit in the 80s, 1980, 79. People talk about it, but I've never seen one at a gun range. So we have to look
Yeah.
at everything in the context of history when we judge a president or a leader, what they stand
Yeah.
for and what they, are
Back in
against.
the late 80s and the early 80s when I started, when I was messing around, I built my first AR-15 in my dad's garage in 84.
Cool.
And me and him were out there, and we were building one, and we bought parts from the local Army Navy store. And I got a barrel, I got an upper and a lower receiver, and we put the thing together. And it was, a decent rifle. It had an Olympic lower, a Colt upper, A2 upper, and a Colt barrel, um, Colt bolt carrier group. But
You know how
yeah,
you know what the term assault weapon come about? How it come about in politics?
assault weapon came from the Democrats.
It came from a liberal, radical Democrats that wanted to scare the American voters, and they wanted to attach that word to it.
Right.
That's what they
Now,
decided to do. Put fear in them.
now, yeah, if you look at the word Sterngewehr, that is the Germans' World War II version of the AK-47 type assault rifle. And if Sterngewehr, I believe Sterngewehr in German, it stands for assault weapon. And basically, because when you look at the assault cartridge, there's a battle rifle and then there's an assault rifle. And the assault rifle is a battle cartridge that has been shortened to a shorter cartridge, so the soldier can carry more ammunition, and instead of engaging targets at 800 meters and above, he's engaging targets 35 feet all the way out to 600 meters. And through like the AR-15 was always a lot more accurate. It had an 800-meter range, um, with decent accuracy. But the bottom line was these cartridges were made for an intermediate, assault type force. Not like in World War II, we were taking shots at 800 yards, sometimes 800 meters. And basically, that's a long way. So we needed the 30-06. Then we went to the 308,
Yeah,
which shortened the 30-06 a little bit by in yardage, but
right.
was still a relatively decent round to have for a 30 caliber cartridge. And then we went to the 22 caliber, the 5.56,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we've been using. And now SOCOM uses a couple of different rounds. We've had the 300 blackout for suppressed close quarter use. We've used the 458 SOCOM for anti-material and anti-vehicle penetration to shut down vehicles with a couple shots to the engine,
Mm-hmm.
and defeat light armor vehicles. They've had various different applications over the years for that type of deal, and still to this day use them.
That's another thing we're going to start hearing from the left. The more they stay in power, pretty soon they're going to start talking about ammo, tax, ammo, armor piercing. They're going to use all the little, what do they call it, the focus group words that they've found out that they can fool the American people with. They focus group everything they say. They pay people and then groups to do that. That's our politicians suck this past few generations, especially this new generation.
Vanessa puts in, they were worried that if you ban an entire class of weapons, past
Mm-hmm.
and present, that it would rule, or that it would be ruled by the
Mm-hmm.
what is SC, the Supreme
Grandfather
Court.
farm.
So, yeah, the
Yeah,
Supreme
Supreme
Court
Court.
as unconstitutional. So this so-called grandfather clause stuff is a direct result. Okay, so that's why they're trying to do that. And it goes, it's from like
High boy back.
1962 or 63. What's gun websites talking about?
Newsweek
Or
mag. I like to have that magazine.
what?
Newsweek. He's got the first Newsweek that ever referred to it as assault weapons.
Uh,
High boy's back with us. Glad you're on, high boy.
Yeah, glad to have everybody on. We're trying to get everybody together and start talking about this thing. We need to start calling our representatives, sending emails. I've been calling my state senator and my governor's office and just telling him, you know, this is absolutely against Florida state constitution. It's against the federal constitution. When is enough enough? I go, Governor, I am one of your constituents. I voted for you. I'm going to vote for you again. I voted for Trump what was it, 8 times or no, four. You had to vote for him in the when he was running against everybody else, and then you had to vote for
Primary.
him in the primary.
Mhm.
And then I voted for him, and I'm just like, right now we need to have more people on our side, um, standing up, and that's what my thing is. I want to get everybody talking about the same thing. Gun websites has been having multiple live streams covering exactly what this proposed um, uh, background check bill and redefinition of the frame or receiver of a firearm and what is so horrible about it. And it's a mess. It's like a giant turd, that sandwich that everybody's given handed around and telling to take a bite out of. It's just, I think the only way to defeat something like this is just for everyone in the country to just kind of just stick their middle finger right up at Biden and tell him, no, this is not what we're going to do. This
The
is
more
not
we
what we
refuse, the
agreed.
more we refuse to obey these laws, the more desperate and the weaker they look,
Yep.
especially a president.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we
We
also
talked
need to
about the
take
media.
memory. We need to take memory of who these sons of bitches are that are supposed to be Republicans in our Senate office, and find out why they are pushing for this bill if they do push it, and get rid of these people. Be like, look, you turned your back on us when we needed you. We had you forward in the as a senator, a Republican senator, for having traditional values and guns and apple pie and baseball and football in this country. Well, football up until they started taking a knee was very American. And now you're turning your back, these rhinos, and we need to get rid of these people. Just tell them, they're no. We hired them. We can fire them. Boom.
Did anyone watch the confirmation hearings of Chipman, the Chipmunk? That's my new name for him, Chipman the Chipmunk. The Republicans did batter him, and basically they say he defines assault weapon as any rifle that's 22 caliber and above, 223, 556 and up, that has a magazine is an assault weapon. The Republicans are not going to vote for no ban. What worries me, they're going to vote for that crappy either background check. I know Lindsey Graham is going to do it. He's already said so in a video here recently, a press briefing, and I've already called McConnell weeks ago before even this ATF kicked in. I call him constantly over the years. And, I don't wait for something drastic to happen. I try to be an activist all the time at times.
Yeah. Andy puts up, I'm in New York. I have sent many letters and emails, and he basically gets back why these people say they support the Second Amendment and then they go ahead and vote against it. And I understand, Andy, but the only thing I can tell you is keep on doing what you're doing, because if enough people send him enough things telling him, listen, we're supporting the Second Amendment. This is not constitutionally legal. This is not what we put you in office for. And you start putting more and more and more pressure, the more he's going to be like, you know what, I'm starting to get a little bit of, worried, because these people are starting to really pound my office with emails and phone calls,
Yep.
and every little bit helps, so basically all it takes is one group, one time, what something to happen in your community where somebody gets hurt, and basically so fear kind of comes across your community that something bad happened to somebody that never did anything to anyone. Their house got robbed, they got killed in the process. And all of a sudden, you have a support, and you've got to start thinking the same way these liberals do. And they start seeing a guy kill a guy with a gun, they use that as their arsenal why guns should be outlawed. Well, we start showing these defenseless people being killed and bringing it up and showing it and shoving it down their face every time we call their office. How did this person die? I tell you why. They weren't able to defend themselves with anything more than a telephone when you're trying to defund the police department.
I tell you what does work. A lot of people think that, and sometimes it don't. Sending letters, email, phone calls. Here's what does work, especially for the federal government or the Congress. Once they start having the switchboards locking up and freezing, once they record 250 million people calling, maybe 5, 10 million, they take notice, and they take notice quick, a lot quicker than you think. But the problem is we hardly ever do that. We'll just kind of, all of us will kind of send a letter off, we'll call. But like right now with this ATF, right now you could probably get more done by flooding the GOP phones and emails at the same time. And once they see a huge pushback, the GOP will not cave on some of this stuff, because they are scared of losing their power too and their job. But I've totally know that's true, because I've seen them bend a lot over the years. I'm an older guy here, so, and I've actually talked to them in what you call it, kind of like we're doing now, except they would do a tele thing, and we'd all get on the phone with one of my congressmen and be able to ask questions. So they do bend, but you have to really flood them and make them take note to make them.
Yeah,
Take
you got
notes.
to basically light a fire under their ass,
Yeah,
and if you do
absolutely.
it, they will take notice, and they
Yeah.
will say, "Hey, look, I've got to do something, because if I don't, me not doing something is going to be more detrimental to my job and
Hmm.
me keeping it than me actually making a stand. And maybe this is the time where I have enough support where if I make this stand, I won't lose my position. I'll actually gain voters."
I called Mitch McConnell. I said it earlier in the stream. I called his website a few hours ago, and I called it the other week, and I left a message. This time his box is full, so people are calling right now.
Yeah,
So
that's good signs.
hmm
That is always good
I
signs.
love it when the switchboard goes down though, and everything just gets flooded. That's when it tends to work.
Yeah, our governor's got like 12 people answering phones at the Capitol right now, and you hear them in the background. I'm like, wow, it sounds like you got a lot of people working. She's like, we have 12 today. She's like, we had more the other day. She's like, Governor DeSantis is really taking this serious and cannot believe that what Joe Biden is trying to put forward as our administration moves forward, he's like, I can't believe that this, and that's what's cool about, when you talk to a switchboard operator or somebody answering phones in Florida, they're like, I can't
Mhm.
believe he's trying to do this. This is just so unconstitutional and so tyrannical. This was even out beyond what we suspected he was going to pull, as Republicans, looking at what we can predict. This is just ridiculous. And he goes, we already had 90% of the state's sheriffs on the phone with us before this was even fully released,
I like that, Andy.
saying that they were not going to enforce anything unconstitutional, and that they would declare their county a sanctuary Second Amendment county.
Highlight
And
Andy. I like that comment.
right here.
Yeah, that's really true in some ways. We don't go around talking about banning cars all the time or
Yeah,
hammering knives.
yeah, yeah. Well, the number one uh, violent way to die in America is blunt force trauma.
Yeah, see, I think England, London, or England, they say it's knives.
Oh yeah,
Knives.
it's knives. And you know what? If knives were banned, it would be lead pipes, because people kill people. Guns, pipes, and knives don't kill people. They're simply instruments that make killing someone a little bit easier. But the bottom line is, if you have, and these are statistics, if you have Obama, what he did was he spent a few $1 million with the CDC when he was in office, trying to prove that guns take more lives than they save every year. And he never went public with the information the CDC released to him, because the CDC found out that 30,000 lives a year are taken from gun violence, and 60% of that was suicide. But anywhere from 300,000 to over 3 million lives every year are saved and prevented from seriously bodily harm by firearms. And the reason why that number is not a dead nuts number is because a lot of times all it takes is a woman or a man to pull a pistol on an intruder, and the intruder runs out without being shot or anything. And they say 78% of those cases are never reported to the police department, usually because the guy that owns the gun is in a city that does not allow self defense with a firearm, or you to own a handgun in self defense without being a millionaire and being able to jump through all these hoops to basically use your Second Amendment rights. So a lot of these cases are never, ever even mentioned to the police department. And,
All right.
you know, I've ran a guy off out of my house over in Orlando. He was hanging inside my window um, at about 2 o'clock in the morning,
See?
breaking into my house, and I was asleep on the couch. And I woke up, I went in there, and I had my Glock 23 with me, and I was just so half asleep. I saw him. I turn on the light. He sees me. I start raising the barrel of the gun up because I was just going to shoot him, and he just fell out of the window. And I basically went over, closed, and locked the window. What I heard was him banging on the window to push the lock out behind the little clip, so that you can bang and shove up at the same time and break into a window on cheap windows. It was a rental property, but basically that's what he had done, and that woke me up. And I
Mhm.
had my Glock on my dining room table, and I just grabbed it and went in there like, "What the hell is going on?" And at the same time, my golden retriever was just growling, and he wasn't barking, but he was just at a steady, just you know. He knew something was up. My dumb ass, being half asleep, go in there, and I was just slowly bringing it up. I'm like, well, he either gets out of the way, but by the time I level these sights on him, I'm squeezing the trigger.
Does anybody want to come in here? The video, Andy, hi boy.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come in on the YouTube side, I pinned the link to the live stream. So if you fellas want to stop by, say hi, bring up anything, talk about anything, it's pretty much an open chat. I was talking about earlier, I have a Summit Press from RCBS coming to my house in the mail. And now that I have all of my dehumidifying cabinets to keep my dyes in, I'm going to be doing a big 556 reloading thing, going over all the processes and going from brass that has been picked up at the range to removing primer, pocket, crimping rings, uniforming the primer pockets,
Yeah, we
resizing
want
the
that.
brass, and knocking a cheap way to figure out how to knock back the brass show on the shoulder 4 thousandths of an inch on a full size sizing die without using the expanding ball and using a Sinclair 22 caliber 223 expanding free floating expanding mandrel to expand the mouth of the case to give me a thousandths of neck tension, and then I'm going to use a factory crimp die to go ahead and put a mild crimp on it so that I don't have any issues with the bullet moving forward in a magazine fed weapon. And we're going to do it all the way through to go into the range. And I also am going to finish up the 308 series that I finally have the good load that I figured out, and that works good with the 308.
Oh, okay.
And I tried it in 5 different guys' rifles, and all 5 of them were different manufacturers. My Ruger Precision rifle with a 20-inch barrel, a Weatherby 308 with a 24-inch barrel, a Arasaka that the barrel had been changed out to a sporter, and it's a 22-inch 308, and a 8mm Mauser that had a barrel swap out and the gun converted over to a sporter in 308 as well.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is High Boy streaming? I don't see him streaming. So
No, he's going to be streaming. What time is it? Okay, we got about another 50 minutes before Jamie's going to go live, JH586 with the Georgia Shooting Connection, and then High Boy usually goes live about an hour at around 9 o'clock. So everybody's lined up, and this is a good time for us, I think, on Friday, because we pick the time where more or less we're before everybody and catch the early afternoon. So, somebody's in here with us. Just looked over. There we go. What is going on?
Guy getting ready for the show. What's up with everybody? Shame to show your faces. What's going on, guys?
What, shame to show the faces. What are you talking about?
Why we got a bunch of avatars up in here? Wait a minute.
Avatars.
Is that better?
Yeah. That looks evil. That looks like Spawn. What is that?
That's my channel logo. Thank you, sir.
Ah, I
my
like it.
excuse is I have sorry audio, and I'm actually closer to the mic and I have it turned up. But I'm going to rectify that in a few weeks with some $300 worth of equipment.
Well, I hate to sound old school, but this is the way I look at it.
Mhm.
If I can't look a man in the eye when I'm talking to him, I ain't trusting a whole lot what he's telling me.
I think he's giving us grief.
You
Echo.
guys can hide behind your avatars if you want to, but just saying.
Okay, I'll wear my shade, but I will come in there. I'm in the dark.
He's in the dark.
Uh,
Yeah, and look when he turns the light on, what's the first thing you see? A T7 and a rock chucker.
Yeah,
uh,
I know. I'm waiting. I just got the shipping information for my Summit RCBS. I'm going to give that press a little bit of a try and run in a review.
shoot my cams off.
I'm eating
Yeah,
Atlantic. What is this? Atlantic salmon.
that's Big Boss too. I decided to
Big
bring it
Boss
over
too.
here.
That's a
Redding.
Yeah.
red.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
good one. Well, I don't use it often, but I do like it. I said I'm gonna start using it. So, and I got
Now, Echo, I will turn my if I'm eating, I don't want people to have to sit through all that. So
I know. That's what I was doing. I was having a little snacky.
well,
Cat loves tuna. But I was eating tuna fish, bumblebee tuna fish the other day, and she comes over and she starts sniffing, and I'm like, "Don't tell me you like tuna fish." So I get a little tiny piece of it, and I put it in my hand, and I hold it down to her, and she eats that tuna fish right up, and she was like licking my finger like going nuts. I was like, "She likes that tuna fish."
you know, I
I like
watch
that flag.
I watch some fishing shows sometimes. There's one on there where they fish for tuna. It's shocking, guys. It is absolutely shocking what those fish bring.
Oh my God, yeah.
I got my speakers down, so Echo won't hear a loop. I can barely
Um,
hear. I may have to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, the those tuna fishing shows, the guys fish five fish, and they paid for their boat.
Hmm.
And I mean, these aren't cheap boats. These boats have sonar. They're running sat navigation. They're running sonar, forward looking sonar. They're depth finders. They're running downriggers, outriggers.
Hmm.
And tuna tower on them. The tuna tower can cost anywhere from about 12,000 all the way up to about $100,000, depending on who builds it and what kind of electronics you have in it.
You have room for me, Jamie, tonight?
Oh yeah, man! I done sent you a link.
Okay. I got my audio cranked up a little better. Hopefully, it's a little louder on this on the backside of the yard stream.
I sent Echo one too. I just hope he ain't gonna be trying to make money doing the foot thing.
Hey,
I thought I was a talker till I met Echo. Ordinarily, I
I
talk
have. Hey, listen,
like me.
my financial advisor told me to diversify, so
Hmm.
I went into. Everybody was telling, oh, well, you need to get into modeling and this, and I'm like, well, I'm ugly as a broke watch. I'm like, I'll just get into, doing the foot thing, So I've even got the ankle cam. So later on, we'll be doing reloading series, and you'll only see from the mid shin down to the shoe.
I think I'll pass. Just like I don't want to see somebody's go-go boots the other night, unless it's a lady,
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get some of my wife's girlfriends to come in here with go-go boots on and those little shorts and reload.
I'll watch then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'll probably get like twice the subscribers in like one night. I'll be like, well, so much for my entertainment. I was only able to get this over 6 years. They got that over 6 hours. I'm like,
Yeah, High Boy's a good guy. Tim S says I don't think I have High Boy. I'll look him up. Or yeah,
Yeah, you'll like High Boy, particularly if you're just getting into reloading. You'll love High Boy.
mm-hmm.
yeah, if he's still in here, if you can
He was
drop a
on
link
here.
to your channel
He was in
in
here a
the
couple times.
I'll see if I can go over and grab a link to his channel.
Hey, Miss Kitty, hope you're doing well, dear.
I'm gonna get me some headphones, or get me a boom mic to attach to my window, and I'm gonna get a soundboard, and I'm gonna be like a radio caster here, podcaster, with good audio sitting out there hanging up right above my head, right there. I don't like the sound on this. My daughter's can get wholesale stuff from Amazon. She goes to South Carolina and buys there's a warehouse there. They get return stuff from Amazon, and the people stand in line. You run in there and you grab stuff out, and she resells it wholesale. I mean retail. Excuse me.
Did you say warehouse?
Yeah, she goes to South Carolina, my daughter, and she buys stuff in pallets. Returns from Amazon, everything, games, watches, phones, headphones, PC stuff, anything Amazon sells, she don't have any control on what she gets. It depends on what the warehouse has got, but she only pays like, for example, this cam here, she could get a Logitech cam if it's there for $3. $3. Yeah, that's she gets all kinds of stuff. I told her, look for me some headphones like Echo. If not, I might have to buy a $200 pair, or either get the boom set audio. I haven't decided yet.
And Tim, sometimes I think High Boy don't even know who I am.
I just posted in the chat a link to High Boy's channel, I believe. Let me see.
76 High Boy Reloaded.
Yeah, that's it. That in the link is a link to High Boy's channel.
Hi, Vanessa.
I'm setting up RCBS dies, so I got ready to direct.
What caliber?
357 Magnum.
Cool. I'm waiting on Amazon. I'm waiting on a Reading 9mm seating stem from Reading in New York. I can't seat 9mm, not with a bullet profile I have.
Hey, Gun Websites is asking if they have a Amazon place where he lives, and I wonder if they've got a place like that where you can get the wholesale stuff, because he's interested in probably going and checking that out. I mean, I know I would. We got a Amazon hub right across the bridge here in Tampa, South Tampa.
Amazon sells that stuff in bulk to other businesses and warehouses. So I don't know who the business people are. I'd have to find out.
Oh, okay. So basically, I could go in and buy a bunch of pallets of stuff that's been returned,
or go through the warehouse and dig out of the pallets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, some people do it that way, where you can buy a whole pallet. what she's doing now is just going there and they got the warehouse and it's all the boxes and it's all returns from Amazon. And
Okay,
the
and
other
they
thing,
just yeah,
yeah, they just
that's
grab whatever's there if they want it and they like it.
right,
She gets
right.
stuff is unbelievable.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, I know I heard from a buddy of mine that he gets stuff from the warehouse. Like, he goes on to Amazon warehouse right on the
Mm-hmm.
website. You can go to the warehouse by you select filters, and you go to the warehouse, and he buys dyes that he doesn't even have guns for, but he spends $10 a set.
Wow.
And yeah, and like these are like for Redding dyes or RCBS dyes. When
Well,
all that craziness was going on, and you could not get 223 or 9mm dyes, I got a set of 223 dyes just as an extra set of RCBS ones for
mm-hmm.
$13.98.
Wow.
And they had been, they were warehouse dyes. And then I got
Mm-hmm.
another set for $30, and I sold one of them to a buddy of mine for $30. So I either
Mm-hmm.
made like $16 to $17 or I broke even, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got a Redding steel die set, 9mm, a few months ago. So Midway it come in stock, $66, I think. And I was a little disappointed the seating stand would not reach the 115 grain XTP. And they spoke with the engineer. I mentioned this on the last, I think Friday on that last live stream, Georgia Shooting Connection. We'll send you a longer one. I said, okay. I'm going to order universal seaters from Wayne and, with 2 different inserts. And I know those work because I've seen them online being used on commercial presses. Dillon's RL1100s.
Yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy the new Zero press. Will be my next one.
Oh wow, that thing is expensive.
Yeah, but bottom line is, I get a little break. I got a dealer account at
Oh yeah,
Brownells,
that's right.
and I'll buy one of those, and then I'm gonna buy an RL 1100
That's what I
Dillon
want.
with yeah,
1100.
and yeah, and I'm gonna do that one for 223 Remington, and that's it. That'll be the only thing I do on that entire machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1100 is something else.
What is the Zero press? Tell me about that.
It's a turret press
That's a
that
designer press.
yeah, it's a turret press that was based off the T7, kind of like they had T7s and they wanted to make a T7 better. And basically, it's a $1,200 turret press, and it's made out of what I believe to be I don't know if that's stainless steel or it's made out of. I mean, it looks it looks like it's polished aluminum. That's how
It
it
is.
looks.
It's aluminum, Echo.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
With
it's
ball
got a
bearings and everything.
it's got a huge base that's like big around as one of those small center blocks standing up on an end, and it's got this little swoosh in it that kind of goes up to the turret, and I believe it's got some crazy amount, like 8, 9 turret holes on the turret.
I forget.
And basically the guy said that makes it that $300 worth of materials are thrown away each press they build, and that it is a true zero, no run out press. That
Yeah.
when you come up each station, instead of being able to quickly change from like station to station, you have to unlock it from each station. So it's like a single stage with 8 different holes in it. I think 8 or 9. I don't know
That's the part
exactly.
I don't like that you just mentioned on that thing. That's the only drawback to me. But That's just me.
Yeah, that's how you get zero deflection, though.
Yeah,
And
I
see,
agree.
that's why I use a Lee turret
Mhm.
press, is because if you look at the T7, or if you look at the Lyman All American 8, they're made so that if you crank down the die, you bring up the RAM with the shell holder on it on a full length sizing die. You kiss the bottom of that die, and you'll see that top of that press pivot backwards. And when it does, it's supposed to do that. When it pivots backwards, that's at true. It's 90 degrees square off the face of the shell holder.
Mhm.
Within a tenth of a thousandth or something like that on a retting. You know what I'm saying? It's very, 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 very square. You still get a little bit of deflection there, but not. It's more like a single stage at that point. But because that pivots a little bit, and
Mhm.
that bearing in the actual turret, well, it's not a bearing in the T7. It's a bushing, but
Mhm.
they're hand fit, so each turret bushing is assigned to that turret. You can't intermix the bushings, because then you'll get a tolerance issue. But
That's
the
a good
bottom
press.
line is, yeah, the bottom line is you still get a small, very microscopic amount of deflection when you have this zero press. It locks down that turret so that it is a single stage press. Basically, it's a
Yeah.
single stage press that has the ability to hold a bunch of dies, so that you can
Yeah.
move through the stations faster than you could if you were removing each die every time and putting another one in. That's the only benefit to it, and the fact that it looks gorgeous. And
All the moving parts have bearings, right?
yes, everything has a roller, either roller pin ball
Bearings.
bearings or roller ball bearings.
Oh, no doubt it's an accurate press. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that guy from Alabama won the lottery. They asked him what he's going to do with it. He said, "I'm going to buy me a two-story double wide."
Listen to Jamie, always poking fun. You're
I
just
used to hear
always
that back in
poking
the
fun.
'90s, stuff like that. That guy, I think the first winter bought a one of those. Wow.
He said, "Well, sir, I don't think they make two-story double wides." And he said, "Well, by cracky, they oughta." And he says, "Well, why?" He said, "For people like me with money."
My brother's got a modular home built in, I think, '94. We got it in over there, his property years ago.
Okay, what is
It's built
Andy
like a house.
talking about? It is the FX10.
Is it
What is
Station progressive press.
Area
Yeah,
419?
is that the Lyman?
No, it's a one you're talking about, I think. I think.
it's Frankfurt Arsenal's new press. Hey, Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
So
wrong.
basically, my point with that story is you get to a point when we're spending money on these presses that, we're just,
I'm not going to spend. No way. I
Yeah,
may
I
buy it as a
understand what
feeling.
you're getting. You're
Mhm.
throwing good money after bad, or bad money after good. Yeah,
you just
I understand.
you're spending more than you have to. You get to a point where spending any more on a press, uh, you need to start an ammo company, start getting some of that money back.
Mhm. I've debated long
Yeah,
and hard on the RL
I
1100.
don't I don't want to run no ammo company. I mean, if somebody had an ammo company and wanted to, or if I wanted to help out a buddy of mine at his gun range, I would basically run two Dillon RL 1100s, and I would do 9mm and 223, and I would load him fragmented ammo so that he could shoot 223 in his pistol range, because he's got AR 500 plating in the sky up in the so if you shoot high, it won't go outside the building. But he's got regular pistol rated steel in the very back with shredded car tires, and basically the shredded car tires absorb a lot of the impact from the pistol rounds, and basically they come in and they've got a special machine. They can suck all that shredded material up. It goes through a machine and it pulls out all the bullets and blows the rubber pieces back into the range. Really neat little process.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, ain't
Yeah.
that? What do you think? Ain't that ATF stuff a bunch of crap?
If
They're,
the government's doing it, it can't help but be, man.
Yeah, it's a mess. But kind of we knew it was going to happen under Biden.
What are they doing now? I missed out. I don't watch.
It's online. You don't need to comment, or you can. And it's their rules. They're what they're going to do. 80% lower's got to be serialized, if I'm not wrong. Then you got to go take it to FFL and register it or run it through their system. They want to know everything. They're basically going to be working on a universal background check or a registry. That's where it's leading to. I called McConnell a couple of weeks ago, and I called him today, and I couldn't get him because the box is full, his voicemail. So I wrote him a thing on his website, and I've already told him, I said, I donate to the GOP, and I oppose all gun registries, universal. I donate. If you all do this, I will not only not vote for you, I won't even give me money over the years. And I donate a little bit for several decades to the RNC and GOP. And sometimes, the candidates, president or whatever, in this state too, I donate a little. And believe it or not, money talks, even if you only donate $10. I don't think they're going to. The only thing I think they may cave to is tighten up the loopholes, like John Cornyn said here recently, which means basically a universal background check.
Well, which means no more private cell, and that there is unconstitutional as hell.
He's talking to Blumenthal, the guy in Texas.
Yeah, and right after that will be that if you loan your buddy your shotgun while you guys are out duck hunting, you'll have to bring it by a place to get a background check done before you give it to him, and then you'll have to get a background check done before he can give it back to you.
The problem with that is the Republicans are negotiating with the Democrats. The problem is when it gets into Congress and you start doing amendments, that's when the bill will be blown up. And so we can't there's no way we'll get a narrow bill of just closing the loopholes. That's what's so stupid about Cornyn. They think they can fool us. But I'm going to call him too. Write him email too. I should have did that. I just hadn't thought about it recently. McConnell's the one I've been trying to hit. He's got the power in the Senate. Even though he's not a leader, he's still a minority leader. I think most Americans just, if they don't participate, let's make the president look weak. Let's make ATF look weak, where they have no power. So, nothing makes a president look more weak than when he does things and no one pays attention or don't obey him. I think, already his poll numbers are tanking. I think 60% of the American people already think he's too liberal. That's just the beginning, not counting inflation. So, I'm not going to go political. That's about all I want to say.
I think the way he's going to combat that is he's going to give us all some more money.
Do what, Jamie?
What, another stimulus?
Yeah, I've been hearing about round 4.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Let's go ahead and give this on to our grandchildren. I don't even have children, and I am against another stimulus. I mean, yeah, free money's great to get, but what they don't understand is somebody's got to pay for that, and it's not going to be me. It's not going to be my kids because I don't have any, but it's going to be my friends' kids, your grandkids.
We're
They want to
already
be paying. Yeah, they're already bankrupting the country, and trillions of dollars is going to have to be paid off for bull crap because liberal cities will not open up their won't open up their city businesses. They want that control. They basically it's like they're just controlling their every private business, and they've got them under their thumb. They get to pick and choose who can open their doors and in what capacity they can do so. And basically, hundreds, if not tens of thousands of businesses have gone under since this whole thing started.
I believe Biden may not be able to get any more bills through the rest of his presidency, which makes him a failed president. I believe if Manchin don't do away with the filibuster, they may not get hardly anything unless the GOP approves it.
Well, yeah, because 30% approval by the populace is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't remember. I don't even think Bill Clinton had that low of an approval rating when he got caught diddling Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. I don't think he dropped that low. I
Uh-uh.
think, yeah, that's a 30% approval rating. And once you throw in the people that really don't have an opinion either way, that's less than that.
I believe Biden is collapsing as we speak. Nobody just is quite aware of it yet, but yeah, you'll see it happen.
Jamie, what are you doing over here?
I'm setting up dies to run a few pieces of 357 Magnum.
What's the topic tonight, Jamie? Do you have one? Or do you want to announce it here?
I got some ideas, but on our stream we basically let the side chat pick the topic. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring up some of the. We touched on a few new guns last week. I wanted to talk about some stuff that I want to kind of compare. What's the deal all of a sudden with tactical shotguns? It's like everybody wants to sell you a shotgun, but it's got an 18 or a 20-inch barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
I got a couple of tactical shotguns. I got a 930 breacher with a 14-inch barrel with a 3-inch breacher compensator that's been the barrel's welded. Mossberg built it that way. They take a 14.5-inch barrel and then they put on enough muzzle device out of steel that to make it 18.5 inches. So what is it, 14.5? So 15, 16, 17, 18, 4 inches of muzzle device. And I've lightened up the gas tube, charging tube that slides down. It's all titanium and drilled out. I've got a 590A1 pump action with a bayonet, M9 bayonet, and
oh man, you ready to go to war?
Oh, dude, I've got 14 AR-15s. I got and I'm still building more.
Wow, that's cool. I know I got to get that Midwest Industries reaction rod that I got you looking at.
Yeah, I want you to get that to give me a rundown on how that is. Do a review on it because if those are good, I'll pick up the one for the AR-15 and AR-10 to give them a whirl. I use the heck out of my Geisley reaction rods.
How's that for ducking around?
Cool. Blow him up.
Oh, hold on, James. Let me get you blown up here, sir. I figured this out. Oh, yeah.
Blow him up. That's what we'll say. Gun themes words.
Let's see if I can do this.
What?
Hold on a sec.
Is that 350 Legend?
Hey,
No,
did you mess with your camera on your laptop? Because it looks a heck of a lot better than it did the first night you were using it.
yeah, we'll talk about that on my stream.
Okay.
I was fussing about it last week.
Right.
Sunday, I'm getting ready for the Scotsman's live stream. My son comes in with this Amazon bag, and it's a brand new webcam from the Crazy Scotsman. So I got it in and got it installed just in time to use it on his live stream. So it does look a lot brighter in here, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's crisp too. And your
Clear.
color on your flag looks very vibrant. Even on the reds match, and this looks real vibrant. Like you could see the material. It looks on right behind you. It looks really well.
Cool, man. Thank you. Anyway, there's 357. Now, these are sized at 359, and
Okay.
I'm debating on focus. Can you
Yeah,
focus?
it's starting to.
All right, you ready for the surprise?
Hollow point. Oh,
Wow.
Those bullets are from CW Longshot, and they are.
like that.
I got the note somewhere. What to do with the note? Dang, people.
Well, at least now, hey,
Yeah.
at least now you're on my show when you're making a mistake. And when you'll be on your show, you'll have all your ducks in a row because you'll be like, I'm not going to misplace this again.
Oh,
We're about to be on his show.
You've seen me long enough to know better.
You still might be looking by the time your show rolls around.
All right, 357466 Lyman. They're wheel weights, hollow points.
Hmm.
And he sized them to 359. They weigh 150.9, 151, somewhere around in there.
That's
So that's perfect.
SHTF storage bullets. Put away.
And your pistol, you shooting it out of a 686 or a Ruger?
586, a
Oh,
686, a Taurus 605, and a what they call it. Used to be Puma, now it's Rossi 92.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Awesome.
boy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, he's there. He is.
I've been missing the Bible studies, High Boy.
I watched it the other day. Some of it, most of it.
All right. Cut me off, man.
Yeah, I got it.
Good job. Oh, okay.
People are tired of looking at me. There you go. Yeah, I would love to have a 629 Vanessa, and I almost bought one.
I missed my 629.
I'm a Ruger guy, and I tell you what I want. I would love to have the Alaskan with the 2 and like a half-inch barrel in 454 Casull in stainless steel. I think that handgun looks really good. And I've got a Ruger GP100 4-inch barrel in stainless steel, and I've had that brand new since '91. And that gun is it shoots unbelievably. And I would like to have a big brother of it in like a little 2-inch, because that.
Jamie, you know what? You know the old 629s when they call them square butt. You know that phrase?
I do. Square butt and round butt.
Yeah. I don't know what year I had back in 2000, 2001. I bought a 629 in a pawn shop in Gwinnett County, $400. Not a scratch on it. I put whole grips on it, kept it a few years, got rid of it, and I still miss it. It was a square butt. Had the no heavy lug, 6-inch barrel. Had the front outline, rear front insert, orange or red.
Yeah.
Had the stainless hammer and trigger instead of the blue color looking. And I miss that gun a lot.
I tell you what I did. I traded a 1999 back in '99 Smith and Wesson 45 automatic,
I'll
and
be back short.
it was about uh, a $390 gun, and I didn't like it. It had to go back to Smith twice, and it had this clicking noise and when you'd pull the trigger, and I'm OCD, and it drove me freaking completely nuts. So I had it fixed, and this guy came into the gun shop one day while I had my wrecker outside. I'm just hanging out, talking to the guy that owns the gun shop, and he brings in a Colt King Cobra 357 Magnum with 2 3/4 inch barrel, or not, no, not 2 3/4, 2.5 inch or 2 1/4 inch barrel, real small nose, and it was stainless steel. I checked the action on it and made sure everything was tight, and then the guy made him an offer. It was real low. I added $50 to it, and he said okay. He had the box, the original receipt. It was scratched up a little bit. I had my buddy, the shop owner, take the whole gun apart down to this bare frame and cylinder, and I gave it to my other buddy that did anodizing for me on my tow trucks, and he polished the entire frame and cylinder till it was chrome, stainless steel, but he polished it out chrome. And then I gave it to the gun store owner, the gunsmith, and he put that whole thing back together. That gun was with me until my house got burglarized back in 2008, and I had a bunch of stuff stolen, including that pistol. But that gun was absolutely gorgeous, and it was a King Cobra 357 Magnum Colt, and I traded a $390 paint in my rear end pistol for it, and that Colt was probably now worth probably $1,000.
Well, I can't stay much longer. I got to get ready for our thing. We got like 12 minutes, but I'll say this: I'm a Smith and Wesson guy, and I always have been, and I probably always will be. Uh, this is my thinking about Ruger and Colt. Uh, Not that I've ever owned any of them, either one. I'm a Ruger guy. I got on a Ruger T-shirt. I own two Ruger rifles. I've only owned one Ruger pistol, and it was a 90. That's a 45. What did they call them things? Anyway, so my thing against Ruger is injection molded, as opposed to forged. And Ruger does it better than anybody. There's absolutely nothing wrong with anything Ruger makes. As a matter of fact, the stuff that I have from Ruger, I absolutely love it. And I'm thinking very seriously about a Vaquero and 45 Colt. Um,
Yeah, it's a good pistol. I
or
mean,
maybe
once
or maybe a Black Hawk. But the thing I got against Colt, and it's my mind. These things are in my mind, and I can't get rid of them. I just own Smiths, and I shoot them. I know what they are, and I like them. But my thing about Colt is, it seems to me like the cylinder's going one way and the rifling's going the other, and it seems like they're working against each other to tear the pistol apart. And I know that ain't the case, but I can't make myself get over that. So if that makes
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm hoping that CZ gets some positive management in there and gets them squared away on how to build. They've got the knowledge. I just don't think I think they're heading in too many directions at once, and they're not getting anything really done correctly. I think under proper management and good leadership over there from CZ, I think that they will complete and build a Python and a King Cobra that in an Anaconda series, once again, that is a brick shit house, a pistol, and it will take a beating and keep on going. And I want to see their detective special in 38 come back as a strong pistol, because that one is a cult following, especially in law enforcement. Either you were a J-frame guy or you were a Colt detective special. And basically, I would like to see Colt come back and bring a positive product. And I think that's what we're going to end it on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because Jamie's got his show getting ready to start, and then High Boy. So I want you to go on over to Georgia Shooting Connection after this, and then High Boy after Georgia Shooting Connection. You guys all have a good night, and God bless each and every one of you. Thanks, everybody in the side chat. Jamie, thanks for stopping by, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. And y'all both have links. Hi, boy, if you want a link, holler at me or let me know. You got my number. Just text me if you can make it, and I'll send you a link.
Appreciate you all stopping by. I enjoyed it. In the side chat too. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Echo, for having me.
See y'all in a few minutes, guys.
See you shortly.
All right. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
See you, Echo.
Bye, guys.